I couldn't have said sweeter words to my ears. And Governor Huckabee, I'm so honored you'd come here and endorse me today. Go to church with us this morning at First Baptist. It's a great church. It's an institutional church that we both know and cherish. And we're delighted to have so much of the leadership of the legislature with us today. Mike Paradopoulos, a good friend, has been a battle-worn, scarred guy with me in this campaign. John Thrasher is officially neutral in the party, but you know, I know where John's from. And, you know, Adam Hasner, who's the majority leader, has been with me every step of the way in the campaign. We know how well Doc Reiner has helped us in this, and we know your county organization has been here in Duval. And the city council, by the way, Governor, in this county, this is the biggest landmass county maybe in the country. It's certainly a big government, and those of you who serve in a way that others probably don't appreciate in smaller communities and smaller counties. So we thank you for your support. And all of the volunteers, before I say anything else, I want to thank you. So many of you in this room have made phone calls. We haven't had the money, the other guy has, but we have had the people, and we've got you there. We know that on Tuesday, we're going to win. Yeah. Because we have Governor Huckabee here, and we're going to have a little press gaggle afterwards, and we want to talk. I was going to be very short, but I want to make sure everyone here knows the message that we've been taking, Ingrid and I and our team, everywhere we go. This election for governor in Florida this time is about our children and our grandchildren. It's about the future of Florida and making Florida a better place for them. That's what it's about. And we do have a tough time right now. We have economic conditions in Florida that are the worst since the Great Depression. We have a lot of people who are hurting. We have over 1 million unemployed, and unemployed numbers actually went up this week, Governor. This is not an easy time for our state. We know what happened in the Panhandle with the oil and the additional economic press that's there, but it's all over Florida. So my chief job as the next governor of Florida is going to be the ambassador, to be the chief economic development officer, to go out and bring jobs to Florida, to grow jobs, to create the culture, the climate, the economic climate that allows that to happen. And that's all based on the principles that I think everybody in this room understands. And that is that government, we want a government that taxes less, spends less, and creates opportunities. And the way we go about doing that is in our plan. Steve Forbes came down here and announced with me April 15th on tax day. And that plan that was announced would create 500,000 new jobs in Florida over the next 6 years when fully implemented. And it involves reducing our corporate income tax about 20%, from 5.5% to 4.5%. It involves targeted tax changes in the law. For example, eliminating the sales tax altogether on certain equipment for the high-tech, biotech, and aerospace industries we want to attract more of to our state. And it involves reducing the regulatory burden. We're not California, and we're not New York, and we're not New Jersey, even though Governor Christie's doing a good job up there now. But we are one of the most overregulated states. So when we reduce the regulatory burden, when we make certain key tax provision changes, and when we have litigation or lawsuit reform, which we really need to have in Florida, and we're going to have when I'm governor, then we have the opportunity, given the governor the tools, to go out and get new businesses to come here, to bring their production facilities here, and to grow our small businesses. If we get the capital here, that's also part of this plan. And that's my main job as governor, growing jobs. That's the main job of the next governor of Florida. And we will then be competitive with Texas and Mississippi and Alabama and Georgia, which we're not and have not been since then. And yes, I wish this race for the primary were more about issues. You've seen my TV ad where I say I'm just as tired of you are of these ads that are attack ads, since most of them are attacking me. You imagine that's why. With the fellow that's running against me, I think he's spent about $50 million now. Well, we should be talking about jobs. We should also be talking about education and water and transportation and the fundamental issues, insurance, things that are critical to our state. And yet this campaign for Tuesdays come down to one basic thing, one really big choice you have. And it centers on leadership, honesty, integrity, character, and records. And I'm proud of my record. Governor Huckabee alluded to that. I'm proud of that record. I was a Navy JAG officer. I've served my country. It's a record of service. When Ingrid and I first met, I was at Great Lakes Naval Training Center. She was a Red Cross caseworker. And we've been married now 38 years. We have 3 sons. We have 2 grandsons. We're very proud of them. One of our sons, as you know, is a West Point graduate and serving his country right now. But my public service... The time I served in Congress, I started with Ronald Reagan. And Mike Reagan, by the way, is an ad up now. I didn't do this. He did it on his own. endorsing me, and I'm very proud that he would do that. Talking about his dad, I watched it last night. But I will tell you, the thing that I come away with is that my service during that era of Congress, I was there for the tax cuts, the Reagan tax cuts, which brought us out of the Carter malaise. I was there for the fall of the Berlin Wall. I was there for the contract with America. I helped write that. 4 of those provisions were really mine of the 10. And I was there for the last balanced budget that we had. And we did have one when I left Congress. And I'm proud of my record as your Attorney General, of fighting cyber predators, the guys that go after our kids before, you know, they go after them, we go after them. And we have got an education program in every middle school and every high school that the Attorney General's office put out there to teach our kids how to protect themselves. And I'm proud of our anti-gang effort, the big gang strategy, and the efforts we've made for consumers fighting mortgage fraud and Medicaid fraud. And I'm most proud of all of the lawsuit that you mentioned, Mike. I'm most proud of all about the fact that 7 minutes after President Obama signed that health care bill into law, I filed a lawsuit to have it declared unconstitutional. And we're going to win That'll be a 5-4 decision of the Supreme Court because there are 4 liberal justices up there. But it's going to be the most significant court case about individual liberty and the separation of powers between the states and the federal government in my lifetime. In my lifetime. And it's so important. It isn't just about the health care bill, it's about individual liberty. If you're just sitting in your chair watching TV or in repose, the federal government, nowhere in the Constitution is there enumerated power that says the federal government has the right to penalize you for not buying a product, in this case, an insurance policy. And those that want to take the Commerce Clause to the extreme would have the Founding Fathers rolling over in their graves if they saw that today. And we're going to win on that. But also, we've got a problem for the state of Florida. The governor alluded to the state's problems overall. It's not just Florida, it's everywhere. 27% of Florida's budget today goes to Medicaid. We made a deal with the federal government years ago, all the states did, to administer a federal program to aid the poor in regards to health care. But we never calculated in this when we said we'll pay a portion of this, that they'd come along without asking us, without asking their partners, and greatly increase the eligibility and increase by billions of dollars the obligations of the states that will impair the ability of our state to do education, foster care, take care of the prisons, do all the other things that our government has to do. And so, for that reason as well, we've sued as not just commandeering state assets in the sense of you and I individually, but as a state as a whole. We believe that it's a violation of the 10th Amendment, and the 19 other states that have joined us and the NFIB believe that we'll win that case. Now, I've said what my record is, and I'm just going to comment one last time here in Jacksonville with you. I'm running on my record. My opponent appears to be running from his record. And all we know about Rick Scott, and this is not a negative, it's just a fact. All we know is what he says in his ads, in his slick ads, that he's run over $50 million worth of TV and mailings and so forth in this race with his own wealth and money. And the other thing we know is that although he says he's running as a businessman, he was fired at Columbia HCA for overseeing the largest Medicare fraud in history. And now he wants to be our governor. And we learned recently about where he has ducked out, not been willing to reveal a deposition he took in a lawsuit here in Jacksonville for a company he's founded here that has similar charges against them. That deposition was taken just 6 days before he announced that he was going to run for governor. And most recently, this Friday, a deposition appeared where he took the Fifth Amendment several years ago on the issues of Columbia. Now, that's all we know. I met the man for the first time when we did the debate at Univision. And as far as I'm concerned, he's a good man. He's a Christian man from values that I hear, and I understand he has a wonderful family. But I have a record that I'm proud of. I'm running on a record of public service, and I have honorable people like Governor Huckabee, Jeb Bush, Newt Gingrich, Mitt Romney, all who endorsed, the Florida Chamber of Commerce. Just this week, the Police Chiefs Association, the first time in their history, both that, the Chamber of Commerce and the police chiefs, ever have endorsed anybody for governor of the state of Florida. And I'm really, really proud of that. But most of all, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the team in this room and the thousands and thousands of phone calls by volunteers that have been made to work on turning out the vote for Bill McCollum in this election. And that's why Ingrid and I'm really blessed with this lady. That's why we're confident with the support of friends like you, Governor Huckabee, that on Tuesday I'm going to win, and in November I'm going to be the next governor of Florida. I think we're going to do the press gaggle outside.